Hey everybody, it's me, Kasey Mackenzie. I am an author. I'm a hybrid published. I have a few books out with Penguin Random House under their Ace Books imprint. And then I have some indie published books that are available wide, and then some that are also only available in Kindle Unlimited. And I have recently returned to full-time writing, so I'm trying to get myself back in the habit of being productive. And one of those goals that I've set for myself is to try and get in some focused writing time every day, especially on the weekdays. And so I figured I might start up some productivity sprints and maybe do some body doubling with other people out there that maybe need to get some things done so that I can hold myself a little more accountable. Sometimes it's just great to have that sense of community and public accountability. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to get started. I'm not going to set them too in stone just yet. I'm going to try out a few things and see what works. Today I just decided to hop on. I'll probably just go for an hour or so this first time and just see how it goes. I need to test out the kinks. I've got some new streaming stuff going on. I'm streaming to a different YouTube channel, so I had to work on getting that set up. I've got a new overlay, and we're just going to see how it goes. I'm not going to spend too much time blabbing right now. We're just going to go ahead and get into the sprints, and maybe we'll develop a different process as we go along. All right, I am already seeing something not working. That's one of the reasons I wanted to work out all the kinks. Let's see. Earlier, when I was in here, there was a different window showing up for my browser. So I gotta just figure out where the heck did that go? And why is it not showing up? Let's see. Maybe I just have to come in here and reselect it. All right, we are going to select it again. There we go. Now it's showing up. All right. So one of the things I find useful when doing sprints is to have a Pomodoro. I usually use free ones online, but to have this Pomodoro app running. So we're going to set it for 25 minutes, then we'll have a short 5-minute break, and then we'll do another one, and that will take us to the hour. So we're going to go ahead and get started and just hop in, and feel free to come in and just start anything that you have going on. We're going to be quiet for 25 minutes. I'm going to be listening to some music via my phone, and then when the 25 minutes is up, we will maybe take a little time to chat during the 5 minutes. If you need to get up and stretch your legs, you can do that, and then we'll just hop right into the next sprint, and then maybe at the end we'll take a little more time to chat again. You can ask any questions you have. And I'm mostly doing this to get myself used to doing this, because obviously I haven't advertised anything. I just kind of spur of the moment decided to start doing these today, but I'm going to act as if I have an audience and other people hopping in and joining in. So I'm going to get myself into that habit. Let's go ahead and start. All right, the sprint's nearly done, so I just wanted to give you a little warning. A couple minutes left. All right, we're gonna go ahead and take our first break. Since there's not actually anybody in here with me just yet, I am going to stay muted and look in the other screen. But if someone does jump in, I will keep an eye out, and we'll get started again in another 4 minutes and 38 seconds. right, I had a little time to decompress, so I figured I would just talk for the last couple minutes of our break about the project I'm working on. Right now I am working on a urban fantasy kind of slash paranormal romance. Almost all of my urban fantasy books end up having a romantic element to them. I love having romances in my books. I've always loved romance, and anyway, I haven't really gotten to the romantic part yet. We're still in the beginning where we're kind of setting up the crime that has kind of been the inciting incident for my main character, who is a witch. She was the beloved granddaughter of a very powerful witch. The series name is called Bloodbound Legacy. So these witches, most of them are not bloodbound witches, but every generation has a bloodbound witch who inherits the bloodbound legacy from the bloodbound witch before them and their family, and they become a part of a larger group called the Bloodbound Spiral, who is sort of the police and governmental force that is responsible for the witches and their powers, and also kind of collaborating with other supernatural races. Anyway, the start of this book finds my main character unexpectedly inheriting her grandmother's bloodbound legacy because her grandmother is unfortunately murdered. And then I am right now writing a scene where she is returning to the attack scene. She had found her grandmother earlier, where her grandmother had managed to hobble away from the attack scene, where she thought that my main character, whose name is Sorsha, she thought Sorsha's cousin Brianna, who was supposed to inherit the legacy, would be there. And Brianna is not exactly a dependable character, and so she never showed up and like she was supposed to, and that's how Sorsha ended up inheriting what she wasn't supposed to. But spoiler alert, she is by far the more responsible and better option anyway. So let's get ready to get started on the next sprint, and I'll see you in 25 minutes. I hope you get some productive work done just like I did on the first sprint. Oh, you know what? I didn't share how many words I got done. I got about 500 words written on the first sprint, and I'm going to try and get at least that much done this time. We'll see how it goes. Good luck. Just a few more minutes left in the sprint, just to let you know. All right, we're at time now. Let's see, where did I end up for the day? I did hit my 1,000 word goal. I had a goal of getting at least 1,000 words today if possible, and dun, 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 I'm at 1,178 words written, which feels really good. For the past few years, I've been working a full-time job as a content marketing strategist, and I've been using a lot of my writing and creative energy during the 8 hours I was doing that job every day, and so it became pretty hard for me to find that creative energy to keep writing every day. Even when I really wanted to, it just got difficult, and so I'm really glad to have this chance for at least a little while to focus on full-time writing again. The circumstances behind that are a little less than optimal. Unfortunately, I was one of hundreds of people who was laid off of my day job. And I work in the I was working in the financial services industry for a very large Fortune 500 company. And so it was difficult to deal with being laid off through no fault of my own. I've only ever had glowing reviews and gotten promotion, at least one promotion in the just over 3 years I was there. And so to go from that and being told, how invaluable you are and to go from that to getting laid off unexpectedly. I mean, they did announce that they were going to do this reorganization months ago, but you still hope that you're not going to be one of the ones affected, and then you are. Fortunately, I'd saved a lot of money I have a spouse as well who I can get under their under his health insurance. So that is fortunate, and I'm getting some severance pay as well. And so I have the time to focus for a few months on writing. My literary agent, the wonderful Ginger Clark at Ginger Clark Literary, is going to shop a proposal for me. I have a book proposal that's not my usual urban fantasy, paranormal romance, science fiction, epic fantasy type thing that I usually write. It is a romantic mystery, and I describe it as Austin Land meets Alias. It's a lot of fun, and she's getting ready to shop that. So I'm hoping that we can sell a book to a New York publisher, which would also provide me a little bit more of a cushion to not have to return to the... I just stopped that alarm. I thought it would stop on the phone too. I am hoping to get a book sale to trad publishers again, because that would help provide a bit more of a cushion to where I wouldn't have to return to full-time corporate work. I'd really like this chance to resurrect my publishing career, both trad publishing and indie publishing. So that's what I'm focused on trying to do over the next few months. And then obviously if it doesn't work out, then I will have to get a full-time job again. But in the meantime, I'm going to jump back into writing wholeheartedly. In addition to this witchy book that I'm working on right now, I'm also rereading the first 4 books in my Untamed Elements series, which is my main indie published series, and ahead of writing the 5th book, which I haven't decided yet if that's going to be the last book. Part of me wants it to be the last book just to wrap up the series, but part of me thinks I might need another book or two to wrap up all of the plot threads. We're just going to have to see how it goes. I'm already on the second? Am I on the second book? Third book? I've lost count. I'm on the second or third book of the 4, and making a lot of good progress. And then I will be able to jump into writing that 5th book. I'm also got some other projects. I've got a epic fantasy / romantasy called Raven Queen that I already have a cover for in the works. I've got kind of a feminist inspired, Norse inspired romantasy that I want to work on. It's featuring Valkyries and a lot of the Norse mythology. So those are just a couple of the projects I've got in the works. And I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up here. We're almost to the end of our break time anyway, and I need to go cook some dinner. And then later I will probably allow myself to have some nice relaxation gaming time for fun, because I have got my goal done for the day. And then I'm going to start doing these sprints more regularly and maybe try to actually publicize them a little bit so that hopefully we can maybe get a few people in here and be productive together. My goal is to do this on YouTube, but there's a possibility I also might try this out on my Twitch gaming stream, but maybe I will bounce back and forth from place to place and see where we can build a community up. Anyway, that's going to end it for me. Thanks, everybody. I hope you were productive, and give yourself a hand on the back, clap on the back, pat on the back. I can't get my metaphor